evening, everybody. I wanted to do this video, and I'm not going to disclose anybody's name in this video. I'm just going to say how I truthfully feel about relationships and what people go through. And this is a video to all of my girlfriends out there. Okay, I wanted to make this video because I feel like a lot of times women get very, what's the word I'm looking for? Blinded by love. And when you are in a situation, whether it be, your husband, your boyfriend, whoever you're in a relationship with, I want to make this video, and I want to entitle this, to every woman who has been in an abusive relationship. This video goes out to all my girlfriends out there who have been in abusive relationships. And so I'm not calling out, like I said, I'm not calling out anybody's name. So I just want to say, for those of you who are going through these kinds of relationships, here are some tips that I have to give to you, because this is from my own experience, and I want to share this with a lot of people. I want to make this video viral because a lot of people need to hear about this. This is a very important topic that a lot of people don't even go into discussion about. So number one, if you are in an abusive relationship, if your husband is calling you names, putting you down, hitting you by any means, calling you a bitch, calling you a whore, calling you whatever you can call by the name or whatever, you need to get rid of him right now. I want to touch this on this subject because I feel like a lot of times women get into this mode of thinking that the honeymoon phase, and when the honeymoon phase is over, they do not have anybody else left to turn to. So here we go. This is what this video is all about. And I'm going to put, like I said, I'm going to make this video viral for everybody to know about. Secondly, if you have any kind of like domestic violence relationship, if you've been put out on the street because your so-called husband, ex-husband, whoever in your life, spouse, your boyfriend, I don't care who it is. As long as you are in a domestic violence, there's domestic violence hotlines all the time open for you 24/7, 7 days a week. Get away while you can. And I really mean run away. So, the topic of discussion, and I want to go into straight details about why I think it's so important to understand that, if you are dealing with a partner who has ever said that they were going to, commit any crime to you, do any kind of harm to you, it's very important to understand the common factors of that is because they are not mentally there, they're not mentally prepared for you, and understanding the concept is if they put their hands on you, they will go to to jail. It's as simple as that. If you are in prison for hitting somebody, you can be that's a life sentence. Okay, that's not just it's a walk in the park. I'll come as I go and I do whatever I feel like doing. That is not even it. So I want to make this very clear to all of you ladies out there who are in domestic violent relationships. Abuse is abuse, and it cannot be ever changed. Don't expect it to change. And I know a lot of women thinking that, oh yeah, I can change my man. It's not going to happen. And if you think that you can change a person who put their hands on you, it's never going to happen. Another thing I wanted to briefly talk about, okay? In my past experiences, domestic violent relations, I was in an abusive relationship, not more of a physical relationship, but more of an abusive relationship. So I want to tell you from my own experience, when I dealt with an abusive partner, I had to tell myself, what was I in it for? what was the real reason why I wanted to continually be with that relationship with this partner of mine that I was dealing with, and why was I even in that relationship? Because your worth is the most important thing, and it's important to understand that when a woman has already made the decision in her mind that she is not going to change, and regardless of whatever happens, you cannot. If you have kids with your partner, it may be very critical that your partner still sees their kids, but that does not mean you go back to his ass and expect that things will change, because the whole ultimate answer is that he will never change. God says, God can do a lot of different things, but domestic violence is domestic violence, which means if he puts his hands on you, he will not change. Another topic I wanted to discuss is that, lastly, most importantly, when you are dealing with any kind of committed relationship, understand what you are going into. I know a lot of times why divorces happen 9 out of 10 times because the partner you are with is they might not be for you. You may think they may be for you in the very beginning stages, but after a while, recognizing their behaviors, that you cannot continually keep going forth in that relationship. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the differences between a man and a woman. Okay, a man is going to think one way. He's going to think logically about how he feels about you. A woman, on the other hand, her emotional side is going to come in before her logical side. So there's a big difference between a man's perspective of life, and I've dealt with a lot of different men in my life to understand that men, the way they think and behave, intimacy, sexual wise, whatever the case may be, a man's perspective of you is what you identify yourself as. And so if you know your habits, where your pet peeves, understand that whatever you can tolerate from your partner, and it may go same thing for a woman. A woman, in her emotional side, she's going to tell you, and she's going to respond to you in a lot of different ways, because women are more verbally, I can identify somebody quite well when I speak to them in person, and I can identify when people are telling me certain things because I've studied this. I studied the way people behave, the way they think, the way they run things. If you will, but anyways, a man and a woman are very different because their logical way of thinking, psychologically wise, is very different. So, and when you put down, like, as far as, sex goes, dopamine is a very important thing to understand, because that is when you have all these, like, it's just like brain frequencies and stuff like that. Anyways, studies have been done many different times that men and women are completely the opposite of each other. So, understand that when you are going through any kind of relationship, whether it be platonic relationship, whether it be intimate relationship, your partner, you have to have some kind of agreement and some kind of understanding of where you guys are at in your relationship. Most importantly, I have to say that when you identify yourself as because a lot of times women, we may act a certain way, we may do certain things in a different way than a man would, and we may end up, saying, some women are just overly emotional, while men, on the other hand, are just completely the opposite of that, and that's where the butting the heads come along. So, to recap of this whole video, I want for people to understand, I'm doing this video because I want to make sure people understand the differences between a healthy relationship and an unhealthy relationship. There are very few people in this world that have a healthy relationship. Look online to see what is a healthy relationship and what is an unhealthy relationship. Because when you identify the two differences between a healthy relationship and an unhealthy relationship, you will know the differences. An unhealthy relationship is when a partner is distrustful, he's toxic, he will never change, and his patterns will always be it's always inconsistency. And then when you have somebody who's a healthy partner, he will make you feel secure. He will, if he has certain, flaws about himself, you can work it through. That's a healthy relationship. One that will build you up and make you grow as an individual. I hope this video encourages you guys to thinking better about relationships and in general. I hope that people have a better understanding the differences between a healthy relationship and an unhealthy relationship. Alright, you guys, I hope you guys have a great Saturday.